Hello guys, nice to see you again on my channel. Today we are testing the brand new POP 4 from Revopoint. So they were gentle enough to send me a test version, a kind of a prototype version. I played with it for like a week, something like that. And that scanner can do a bit of everything. So that's where it really shines. So no matter what situation you are in, the scanner should be able to scan it. So let's quickly see what's in the box very quickly. So when you get the scanner, you get a very nice little box like this one. So it's pretty cool. So you can handle the scanner, very easily. So if you open it, let's try to do it pretty quickly. One of the first thing you'll have is that tiny bag. In it, if you open it, okay, you will see that plate. That plate is a calibration plate. The scanner is already pre-calibrated professionally, so you won't have a need to recalibrate it when you will receive it. But maybe, I don't know, in a few years, maybe you would want to calibrate it again. You have everything you need to do it. So that's the first element that you have in it. So let's see what you have else. You have a small manual, okay, which is here. Nice. You have some markers. So if you use cross-line mode or the single-line mode, especially on maybe some mechanical PCs or something like that, you have lots of markers. I'm not sure how many you have, but you have, tons of them. So that's something pretty cool. So everything is ready to go. Here you have the scanner itself. Very nice little one. That's the tripod for the scanner. All good. USB-C cable. So the stuff is, here you have the battery. So you take the scanner, you slide everything, and use that battery to power the scanner if you are outside. So that's pretty cool. Nice. You have a small turntable, which is here. All good. Here is another USB cable. Nice. More trackers. Okay. Cool. What's this? This is outdoor filter. This is optional. So I'm not sure it will be in the box. But when you're scanning outdoors, this is helping. So pretty cool stuff. Nice. So now we'll start to have a look at the scanner. We will power everything. Most of the time, I will just connect the scanner to the computer, straight to the computer. Just because that scanner is able to work without a computer, but the software which make it possible was not updated yet. So I received the material, but for now, it's a beta software. So I just can't use the software on my phone. So I will just use the computer. But when everything will be ready, you would be able to put the phone under the scanner and pilot everything from your phone and be able to scan outdoor with no problem. But as of today, for that test, it's not something I was able to do just because the software is not ready yet while I'm shooting that video. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is that I will just take the battery, I will put the battery here, and I will screw it to the scanner. Okay, if I want to do stuff outdoor, I will just plug the USB cable here and here. Okay, nice, you can see it's red. Okay, go for it. Now it's green. It means it's working, the battery is powering the scanner. But right now, I will just use the cable which is on the computer to make everything work. And for that particular demonstration, I will still keep the battery here just because it's easier to handle the scanner this way. But it won't be the battery who would power the scanner. It will be the cable which is on the computer. Okay, so as you can see here, the cable is pretty strong. It's probably 2 meters long, something like that, I guess. 1.5, 2 meters. So you will just put the USB cable here and just screw that little stuff here. Nice. Okay, see, it's all green now. Nice. Means it's powered correctly. You can hear there is a tiny fan or something into it. Okay, nice. Now I'll just put the software on. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is to click New Scan on the software. And then you will see there are 4 tracking modes. So you have the feature mode, the marker mode, the global marker mode, and the color mode. So first you need to decide which one you will use. So the feature mode is when you have lots of feature on the object you want to scan. So if it's, I don't know, a bust, a maquette, something like that, you will go for feature mode. Then if there is not a lot of feature on the model, you could go marker mode. So if you have a very, something which is a bit flat, or something where the pattern repeat itself a lot, you will use this kind of markers. So you just take them, stuck them on the surface, and it will work. Then you have another mode, which is global marker mode. So that's a kind of a marker mode, but you will do it in 2 times. First, you will scan the area with the marker, and then in a second time, you will put the object and scan. So you would say it's more or less the same. Not exactly. For example, imagine I use a table like with lots of dots on it with all the markers, and I put a very long object with the classic, marker mode. If I scan that area, and if I stop and I scan that area, they won't be in the correct distance. They won't find, a kind of a mix between them. But if I go global marker mode, as I already registered every single marker in the area, I can scan that part, then I can scan that part, and then if I scan the middle and I expand, everything will be located in the correct position. That's something which is very, very nice. And the last mode is the texture tracking mode. So for example, if you take that bottle here, the scanner, if you scan that area, and then you scan that one, and then you scan that one, that's exactly similar. So or the scanner will just think is not moving, the bottle is not moving, or maybe it won't be moving, and the scanner will just think it's spinning like crazy. So that's something without marker, you can't scan something like that, just because the detail from every single direction is the same. But as you can see, you have some pattern on it. So the POP4 has a mode of scanning which can use the camera to track. So you will see later in the process, we'll try to scan this using that new mode. And you will see that the scanner is able to scan this properly with absolutely no problem. So that's something which is very nice. And as you can see, in feature mode, you can use full field HD, VCSEL rapid, or hybrid HD. So out of the 4 modes of scanning from the POP4, only 3 are available in feature mode. So you can scan with the blue lines in feature mode, just in infrared light. So the first one is full field. Full field has a precision of 0.08 millimeters precision. Then you have the other mode, which is VCSEL mode. So that one is 0.1 millimeters precision. So the full field mode is a bit more detailed than the VCSEL mode. But the VCSEL mode support exterior light a lot better. And the thing is, if you want to scan with a full field mode, you need to be pretty close to the object. And if you film and scan with the VCSEL mode, you can be a bit more far away. So the tracking is a bit better on VCSEL mode. It supports a lot better the very strong light from the outside. The tracking is very nice, but you lose a tiny bit of quality compared to full field mode. And in the middle of all this, you have what we call hybrid mode, which kind of use the quality of the full field mode, but it's trying to use the tracking capabilities of the VCSEL mode. So it's kind of a mix of both. So it's using what's strong on one side and what's strong on the other side and trying to mix them. So that's something which is pretty nice. So for our first test, I will separate for now infrared and cross line, blue lights. So first I will test the infrared mode. I brought with me here a bust of Venatosaurus from King Kong. So in 2005, Peter Jackson released Peter Jackson King Kong, and you have the raptor into it, which is called Venatosaurus. It was sculpted by Whittle in 2005, so it was probably sculpted in 2003, 2004, something like that. I have that bust, and I will scan it 3 times using the 3 scanning method, the 3 technologies, full field, hybrid and VCSEL, and then I will compare the quality, and you will see which one could be the fastest, what distance you should be from the asset, and what the final quality you would get using each of these modes. So I think it would be interesting to scan the model 3 times and actually see what quality, what advantage you would have for each of these modes. Okay, so here it is, guys. That bust was produced by Weta Workshop. At first, they were supposed to sell the complete thing, the complete model, like the one I have for the T-Rex, but it was never sold. So instead of this, they released this kind of bust from the film. They are very nice. I have the T-Rex too, and that's the Raptor. So that's something which is pretty cool. And I will right now test the new POP 4 on that model, and we'll see how it works. So we'll go feature mode, full field, and we will call it feature full field. I'll go auto mode. Okay, auto. Okay, so here on the left, eye accuracy, object type, normal, black, dark, or faces. I will go black because on the back of the object is pretty dark. Then you have the scanning distance that you can change. I will just let it as it is. Then I will go color scanning because I want to make a scan with color. Then you have something which is pretty cool. You have the base removal. So that's pretty nice. Base removal means if I scan everything, it will remove the table automatically. It will detect and remove the table. So that's very nice. But that existed before, but they added new stuff into the version I have, which is still a beta version, but I'm sure it will be available when you will get it. So the second one is called object segmentation. And that's absolutely crazy nice. Something which is funny is that if I put my hand in front of it, as you can see, it's not scanning my hand. That's something which is very, very cool. I will just remove the color from the display. I can click here, it removes the color. It's still scanning with color, but I'm just removing it. Everything is pretty fine, it detects everything, it's going in excellent. Then I will just press play on the scanner. So if I go play, I will just click auto here, auto exposure. Nice, auto exposure on. So as you can see, look at that. That's full field. And look how quick it scans everything. Nice, so as you can see, you can generate, a scan in no time. That's something which is very, very cool. Okay, I will just click again on the play button and it will stop the scan. So I already scanned the complete thing 3 times to be able to show you, how it works. Okay, so here, guys, what you can see is a raw scan. So as you can see, there is a color on it. If I put no color, I get something like that. So as you can see here, you have the raw data scan. So as you can see, it's very smooth for now. You could put the color on or off. For now, it's just a display thing. So the first thing to do is that you could go on a one-click setting. It could make everything automatically. And you can, if you click on it, you can pre-parameters all the options. So for example, as you can see, you have the fusion, the isolation, the overlap, smooth, simplify, meshing, etc., etc. If you have some very favorite setting, you could tweak all of them. And then every time you click on one click, it will just go through them. But for now, I will just show you how to make stuff by hand, because you never know, maybe you never did it. So the first thing is fusion. So this is a raw data scan. So it's a point cloud. So you will have to, each of them, are different frame. So you have 7,392 frames. So you could see 7,392 point cloud, which are together. But you want to generate one, which soon after will be turned into a mesh with pure geometry. So first you will go in fusion, and you can see there is a point distance. So if you click here, it shows me that, okay, you should put maybe 0.66. Okay, that's what the software recommend me. I would go for 0.3 because the lower you go, the highest the quality. Sometimes it's not needed, but 0.3 is not too thin. It's thinner than what the software would request. So I would just go for it. I just apply. So what you can see here is a fused model. So you can see what the model looks like. Looks fine. You have the detail, you have everything. It's pretty cool. So then you have isolation. Isolation means, so I just put a 2%, which is very small, amount. You can go higher than that. But unfortunately, the tongue is not connected inside of the mouse on my current scan, because I did not pay too much attention to scan the inside of the mouse. And if I put a value which is too big, it would just select and remove the mouse. The tongue, I mean. So for example, if I go, I don't know, 20%, I go detect. I'm pretty sure it will pick the tongue. Oh, no, did not. Okay. So, so I can apply that. So maybe the tongue is a higher value than this. Oh, maybe it's still attached. Maybe there is an attachment somewhere. Okay, so it's fine. So it means the tongue is attached to the body. At least there are a few, connections. It's fine, good news. Then there is the overlap. Overlap, I put 0.6 millimeters. I will just go detect. It's fine. Okay, I will click apply. So overlap means, for example, if you have a surface and then when you scan, there was a small shift and there is another surface on top of it. You put the distance and it will just remove one. So that's something which is pretty cool. Smooth, I'm not using it. That's a creature. If I smooth it, I will lose the scales. I will lose the detail. I'm not going to smooth anything. Simplify. I never simplify anything. So if it's high quality, if there is a high density, it's fine for me, but you can. So if you want to simplify, you could do it. And then there is the meshing. The meshing, for example, I would put 0.5 millimeters. That's probably what the software recommend me to. Yeah. So you have the fast meshing and high quality meshing. So just go for, just go. I always personally go for high quality meshing because I want the highest quality anyway. So it takes a tiny bit longer, but that's a powerful machine, so it's fine. And if it's a bit longer, just go to make yourself a coffee or something like that, and it's fine. When you come back, it's done. So it's pretty good. And then just click apply. So I already pre-processed it, so I do not need to do it now. I just, showed you every step. So here you have the mesh model. So this is pure geometry. So it's not a point cloud anymore. That's faces polygonal geometry. So it's fine. And this is a color. So if I need to put the color on here. So here you have the color of the model. So as you can see, the scanner managed to scan the color and everything. So it's pretty cool. I will show you it a bit later, with more quality. Okay, I will just go no color like that. You can see all the details and everything. So it's pretty cool. So that's hybrid mode. So I will show you pictures where you can see on the left, it's full field. On the middle, it's hybrid. On the right, it's VCSEL. So as you can see, the VCSEL is a tiny bit less good than the full field and the hybrid. just because the point cloud precision drop from 0.08 on full field mode to 0.1. So there is a tiny bit less precision, but on the full field one, on the VCSEL one, you would be able to scan in daylight more easily, and you would be able to be a bit more far away from the object. So the more far away you are, the biggest the area you can cover and the faster you can scan. So for example, if I take a scanner and I'm at that distance, I will scan this, and then I will scan this, and then I will scan this. But if I'm that distance, I'll be able to scan more. So VCSEL would have a better tracking, more range, you know, in a way. You would be more far away. You would be able to scan with more bright sun, but you will lose a tiny bit of quality compared to full field mode. And if you really want some crazy quality, something a lot better than this, you would be forced to use, you know, the trackers and to use not the infrared, the blue light scanning mode. There are two blue light scanning mode. I forgot to mention it. The first one is a cross line. The second one has only one line. So why is that? That particular scanning mode with one line is made for very deep cavities. So for example, if you work and you need to scan a piece, but it's something very mechanical, like, I don't know, an engine or something like that. Some area, you know, are here, some others are here, and there are tons of very intricate pieces, you know, pieces connected together with lots of deep, you know, it's very deep. You would use one line to do that. That mode is made specially for this. So that's where the scanner shines, according to me. It can scan in blue light mode, very thin detail, but with trackers. It can scan with a one line where there is huge cavities, but again, with trackers. Then you can go infrared, so you do not need tracker anymore. You can go full field, where you have very nice quality. Then you can go hybrid, which is a mix of full field and VCSEL mode. Or you can go VCSEL mode straight. That's something which is pretty nice. For the tracking, you can use a tracker, you can use the feature, you can use a global tracker, which is doing the tracker stuff, but in 2 times. And then you can go texture tracking, which is something very cool to have the texture tracking. But yeah, now we just move on the second part, you know, the one with blue light cross-line tracking system. So guys, now it's time to try the blue light scanning. So that's the most precise one. So remember, if you go full field mode, it's 0.08 millimeters precision, but that one is 0.03. So it's a lot better. So the full field mode is better than the VCSEL mode, but this one is better than the full field mode. So if you have something with very tiny details or something like that, if you want something with lots of precision, it's better to use that particular mode. But the full field mode or VCSEL do not require markers, but this one does require markers. So we'll try on that small Super Nintendo. I will just put the Super Nintendo here. I will create a new project. Okay, new scan, markers, laser line, confirmed. So here you just go cross line, high accuracy, normal mode, normal object, it's fine. 0.03, you can go to 0.15 instead of 0.3. Let's go now. Nice. So I'll try to make this work like this. I will go here. So when it's yellow, it's not here yet. It's not ready yet. But when it's green, it means it's fine. It's working. So the goal is to scan everything and until it's green. And when it will be fully green, it would be perfect. As you can see, I'm 85 frames a second right now on my computer. Sometime I move to 105, something like that. But right now it's a tiny bit lower. But it's still a lot more than in full field mode. In full field mode, I don't know, you have 16, something like that. And right now I'm 86, 84. All good. So if you want to stop, you press the play button. Click on it, scan post. Nice. I'll put this here. I'll just stop this. Nice. And now I will just click complete. I will make a save first. Okay guys, so now we're back on the software, and as you can see, here is a Super Nintendo Mini. So that's the raw data. Again, like I explained to you on the first one, that's more or less the same system. The raw data is just a point cloud and it needs to be fused. So that work again the same way. You go into the fusion, isolation, overlap, and then you make the meshing. So I already pre-processed all this because you already saw the process on the first model. So here you can see the fuse model. So as you can see, that's not a huge Super Nintendo. That's small one. I can hide it with my hand. So you could see, oh, you like a bit of detail. That thing is very small. So that's not the one you remembered, playing when you were young. I remember when I was young, I was playing Super Nintendo. It was a pretty huge one. It was still maybe 2 times larger and 2 times longer than this. But that one is a very small version, and you still got details and everything. So it's pretty fine. But that's only the fused version. So that's a fusion of points. That's not the mesh yet. So here you have the mesh, and I click on it, and as you can see, you see the details and everything. So you can even read, like try to read. It's not very visible. You can see the Super Nintendo stuff, and it's very thin. It's like, I don't know, 2.5 centimeters max. So you have tons of details and stuff like that. So you could scan that side, then you scan the other side, and then you go into merge alignment and you align the pieces together. So you can go through an automatic alignment, or then you can put some dots, on the 2 pieces, and it would align them with no problem. And it's working fine. I'm doing this all the time. So guys, now we're using the last tracking mode, which is a color tracking. So I will take this object here, that bottle. As you can see, just a classic bottle. There is no way to scan this without marker. But with that technology, which is the tracking mode, which is in color mode, it's working. So I will just go color mode here. Nice. I will use full field mode, okay, and just go confirmed. So here everything looks nice. High accuracy, normal mode, everything is fine. I will just wait for the scanner to be ready to go. So as you can see, the scanner is projecting some flickering lights in that mode. I'll just go auto exposure. Nice. Everything should be fine. I'll just go here. Okay, I'm a bit too close, so I should be around here. And as you can see, there is no tracker here. So that's something which is pretty cool. No tracker. There is nothing on the bottle, which is a significant feature for the scanner to be able to make an alignment, but still, it's working. So that's something which is pretty nice. Okay, so now I just press play again. Okay, scan post. Nice. I'll put this down. I will stop this. All good. And we'll check here. So I'll just click save. Okay, so as you can see here, we scanned the bottle. It works fine. It's okay. That's just the raw data. It seems to be low resolution and everything because it's a raw point cloud again. So then you have the fusion, which is here. So you can see a raw fusion. It just shows you a bit how it's supposed to be. So that's pretty cool. And then you have the mesh. So it composed everything. I can remove the color. It closed the top and the bottom, because I put fill all. So it's fine. And then you have the texture mesh, which is here. And as you can see, you know, it took the textures, which are here. And that works great, you know, it's fine. So for example, if you want to scan something with not much surface detail like that, the color could help you to make things work, you know, and to keep the tracking. So in a way, it would replace markers, for example. So I don't know, if you want to scan the dashboard of a car, you could put, you know, some tiny, you know, dots of painting or something like that, you know, like water painting or something that you can just remove with water and a sponge, and it would replace the marker. So that's something which is pretty cool. I love the idea. That's something which was not possible on the previous models, and I'm pretty happy it works on that one. Something which could have been interesting for maybe another scanner, I don't know, or maybe that's something they could work on in a software mode, would be to have a mix of color and feature mode. So that's something which could be very interesting, to have the tracking feature mode and the color mode to be working together. So when the feature mode has some difficulties, the color mode would just be on top of it and help everything to work fine. So that's something which could be cool, to have a mix of color mode and tracking mode on the new versions. You know, that's something which could be cool. I'm not sure, again, if they could implement this in just using a software or firmware or something like that, or if it would be for next, you know, Miracle or next POP 5 or something like that. I don't know. But I think that would be a great addition. You know, that would be something cool. So guys, the scanner is able to scan using infrared, full field, hybrid, VCSEL, and then it can use the cross line, blue line, to be able to scan with more precision. The infrared one does not require marker, and the blue line require marker. Quality-wise, blue line is better and thinner details than full field, which is a tiny bit better, but it's very subtle compared to hybrid mode. And then the VCSEL is the one which has a tiny bit less resolution, but it's not crazy. The difference between all the infrared mode are very subtle, and you need to process a model, put them side by side to see a proper difference. But it's still good to know. You know, that's something which is good to know. Then we should probably talk about the 100,000 lux. So the scanner is supposed to support scanning outdoor. Personally, I had not a lot of opportunity to do it because, as you can see, I do not have a laptop. I have a huge tower. The POP 4 is able to use Wi-Fi, and with the application REVOPRROMO, I can see my screen on my phone while scanning. But I'm at the first floor, and the only stuff I could probably scan was the grass in the garden, so nothing really interesting to scan. I would be very curious to receive the updated, you know, Revopoint software, which works with my Android phone. So it will work with the Apple, with the Android, with everything, you know, all the major phones, so it should be fine. But it's not ready yet, unfortunately. So texture-wise, it's working quite okay. So you have texture which are, you know, pretty fine. In the film industry, you will make a proper photo shoot for film. You know, you need to project what you're doing, you know, on a screen, you know, a massive screen. So you will for sure make a proper photo shoot. But it's good that the scanner is able to do it. So that's something which is very nice. Then there is the Gaussian splatting. So Gaussian splatting, for the people who does not know what it is, it's a kind of a new technology. So it's a kind of a lookalike of photogrammetry. You take pictures and you generate a model out of it. But photogrammetry generate a model, geometry, and put textures on it. Gaussian splatting does not really generate a geometry. Usually something which is like a point cloud or gas or something like that, on which it projects textures. The good thing is that Gaussian splatting has lots of advantages. So usually it's a lot less heavy and the result is more photorealistic. So that's something which is very nice. On my side, I really enjoy Gaussian splatting because especially in the trees, it works very well on the trees, leaves and everything. So Gaussian splatting is very nice for this. And one other very nice point about it is that it's very light to put into Unreal Engine. So if you have some people, if you are someone who is doing video games or something like that, you could use a Gaussian splatting generated by the scanner to just populate your video game. So you would say, okay, but that's something I could do with my phone. That's something I could do with my camera or something like that. Because Gaussian splatting is based on photography, on pictures. Yes and no. The Gaussian splatting technology from that scanner is a bit different. So you scan things, it captures the pictures and everything, and it will use the scan to align the pictures and generate the Gaussian splatting. So that's a technology which is different because it supports, the picture alignment and everything is helped a lot by the real scan, made by the scanner. So that's something which is very cool. Can't wait to test it more. And my next videos on the POP 4, which is supposed to come pretty soon, will probably focus a lot on Gaussian splatting because I love that technology. So I will make more tests soon. I wanted that video to be released, for the Kickstarter. Because there is a Kickstarter, for the POP 4 where you could have massive discount if you pre-order it or something like that. So try to check the Kickstarter. And then, and very soon I will try to make more tests on the POP 4, test a bit more, see if I can, be a bit more precise in some of the stuff I've said. But the next video will be probably mainly focused on how to capture nice texturing, create Gaussian splatting out of it, and put all these things into Unreal Engine. I think it could be something pretty interesting for all the people from the game industry, so they could scan their model, put them in the video game, using a technology which is first implemented very well into Unreal Engine. And then it's very light, so it's pretty cool. So let me know what you thought about that video, if you think it could be, if it was interesting or something like that, if it was helpful. Remember, there is a huge Revopoint community on Facebook, for example, and they have a forum on which you can go and you can ask a question. You can see some people are showing pictures, result and everything. You would be in contact with the guys from Revopoint. They could help you, give a few feedback if you have difficulties to do something with the scanner, I don't know. But it would be very, very cool to use, this social media if you have the scanner, just if you have any issue. These people are available to help you, so why not to call them? It should be pretty obvious to call them. So that's something very nice. I really hope you enjoyed that video. I hope you will enjoy the next one, where we'll be able to go a bit deeper into testing the POP 4. And see you soon on the channel. Bye.